This fence actually was security gates and interface on the windows, and they put a new extension up so where the outside was became inside, so they didn't need them. They came to Sydney, can you do anything with them? No, and I would say yes. These were out of a nursery, putting plants on, and we have turned them into coop. Well, I grew up recycling wouldn't have been heard and nobody knew about it, but it was going on. And the old people years ago, they were doing it years ago, and it was a natural thing for them because some of them had 10 and 12 of a family and everything had to be looked at. There was no waste at all, you know. Them's oil cans. Mark this out and cut it with a jigsaw. And you can put water and it keeps the water clean, and you can put your feeding in it and it also keeps it clean. To me, it's life, you know. Life is not about recycling. Recycling's for life, and that's the way I look at it, you know. It's something we all have to look at seriously, you know.
Well, I always thought with common sense anyway. You know, like my mother always told me, you know, shut that door, well, were you born in a field?
I asked a question the other day, what does sustainability really mean? And I didn't get the answer I was expecting. I thought I was just going to get a short definition, but it really encompasses like energy saving, water saving, waste saving, encompasses everything that the company does. So Mission Zero is basically sustainability.
This has got to be real or we're not doing it. You know, that was the message, very strong. We're doing this because it's the right thing to do rather than it's because everybody's starting to talk about it, you know, and that's how Ray felt about it, you know, very strongly.
And I think it was particularly interesting the first few weeks when I was at Interface, walking around the factory and finding that the shop floor workers would talk to me about landfill avoidance and things like that, and it was quite clear that a lot of the message had penetrated quite well.
People were starting to be told about recycling and all and stuff, so it was being brought in. Stuff that you'd seen in everyday life but you hadn't seen in your work, it was starting to be brought into work then too.
The environment's a very big place, and whenever you're abusing it, like, there's other ways that you can do things that will help.
Why would you pay for electricity being burnt from a coal generator? We are an island and we've got plenty of wind.
The wind turbine supplies the grid and then we get our electricity in from the grid, so it's green energy.
One of the things that we are very proud of here that we did some years back was we stopped sending out skips to landfill.
In 2006 we had 170 tonnes of processed waste. Waste actually went to landfill, and that was a mixture of pallets, yarn, polythene, cardboard. In 2007 we reduced that to 100 tonne, and in March 2008 was nothing went to landfill.
If you look out at the yard, I think this is Mission Zero, where it actually happens. All the material that comes out of the factory, it's my job to keep it clean, to put it into the correct bins and bale it for recycling. There's nothing wasted.
We recycle glass, cardboard, plastic, food waste. We've all different coloured bins to put them all in.
With the bins all being beside each other, it makes it harder not to, you know, to sort of say, right, well, I'll put my tin in that bin and I'll put my crisp pack in that bin.
And I've stuck labels on the bin, you know, paper, plastic, cardboard only, you know, but still doesn't get through.
But the key about that is managing it, like I say, and with that we've got who works in actually my team, he actually goes around and we'll put visible clear bags so people can see what's actually going into the bins. So then if somebody puts a tin in with a crisp bag, for instance, then okay, put it in the wrong bag, so then it's easy to look at it and see, even to interchange it when you do want it, segregate it into the correct areas.
Our yarn waste all goes to a recycler in England. The cardboard and wood and plastic all go to a local recycling company.
The biggest challenge is yarn, because that is the thing that we use the most in here. So what we're trying to do is cut down the waste on it, and that means even sort of on creels where you run out creels till there's nothing left.
So when we're ordering yarn for the creels, we're trying to order it on the right number of cones and the correct weight, so as when it goes onto the machine it completely runs out and that the waste yarn left then is to a minimum.
The pack length that's going on this cone is 211 linear metres. So we want to be seeing around about 211 here. And if there is a variance, this machine's correct to plus or minus 1%. So what we do then, if it is incorrect, we adjust the machine to this measuring device, and that's where it gives us the perfect package. But what we're doing is rewinding it to lower tension settings and then producing the cone with the exact meterage on the cone. So there you can see we've got 0.4, so that's less than 0.5% of accuracy.
You know, if you're doing wee cones and you can see the cardboard trading, it might be 50 metres on the cone, but 50 metres times 800 is a lot of yarn. If you do that 40, 50 times a week, it soon builds up.
To try and inspire people to do it in here, to follow the proper recycling things, all I think it'd be really, really hard for, especially to get some of them on board. You'd more or less have to offer them like cash incentives and stuff like that to her. It's the only way you're going to get half them doing it.
For shop floor employees, Fritz is here, there tends to be a sort of a bonus scheme for keeping within, keeping waste down.
We had a productivity bonus. It didn't take into consideration of quality. It didn't take into consideration waste, actually waste that went to landfill. We decided we'd create a quest bonus which related to all your renewable energy. The bonus only paid out when we got an improvement.
The company's focused on it, but this is getting everybody on board, you know, the boys on the shop floor, you know.
When bonus time's starting to come up, the start the quest bonus, I think everybody will start getting a wee bit anxious then, and Mission Zero, Go Team interface and all.
I think all in all at the moment, the way things are in interface, especially here, is that people are doing things, and they're doing things as well as they can.
Educating people and explaining the reasons why we do things is important. There's no point in getting employees to adhere to a set of rules whenever they don't understand why they're doing it.
I wouldn't say there were specific training courses, but there is, you know, ways and means of, you know, seeing that, learning that.
Yes, if interface was to provide more information for people, yeah, if it was going to help, certainly, yes, it would be appreciated, yeah.
It would be very helpful to have more information available to the temporary staff. You're handling raw material. It's up to you to handle it correctly. It saves it from being damaged. It's up to you. Can this be reused again, or does it need to go to the bin? How much do I need to put to the bin? There's loads of how the temporary staff can actually have an input into the waste situation and everything like that.
As far as I understood Ray Anderson's message was, you know, we need people that can think on their feet, go ahead and tell us something, because you know, no matter how big a company or a business you are, you don't have all the answers. There's always going to be someone come along that has an answer that you haven't thought of, you haven't found, or the question hasn't came along yet.
And one of the things that we used to do was brainstorming, and we always found that people on the shop floor were very intimidated by this, because they felt that when they were sitting in with management, they kept their mouth shut. They were afraid to look stupid, afraid of, you know, saying something stupid, and you have to get rid of that.
There's no stupid questions, you know, or no silly ideas. It's, you know, and if somebody comes up with an idea and, you know, they feel confident or comfortable enough to, you know, bring it forward, well then it deserves to be looked at.
The best way to inspire people would be to listen to ideas. You know what I mean? Have good feedback. If there's a problem involved in something, well, let them see what something's being done about it.
Basically through the meetings and stuff, then people can have suggestions and put things down, and then everybody, you know, you can have a look at it.
Which really allows employees not only to take an interest and be educated, but actually they put in a suggestion, and in a lot of cases they can see that suggestion taken seriously and they can see it put into practice, and I think that is really quite significant.
It challenges you to be more creative. Like as engineers, you would think of something that you maybe wouldn't have thought of. You probably, some jobs you do robotically, whereas some now you think of, oh right, maybe I could do this might help.
We used to store our master samples on these cardboard boxes, which, as you can see, when you lift them up, they rip very easily. And then we come up with the idea of using the hard plastic ones, which is hard wearing, recycled material. which actually last a whole lot longer.
Put in for planning permission about 2 years ago to build myself a new house. You know, you can zone the house the same sort of principles as what me and the guys have done here, you know, in the maintenance. Well, the interface, the lighting, not on sensor lights, so that when the lighting's not being used, it should go off instead of people maybe leaving it on and things like that there, at least it'd save energy. So I was going to try and incorporate low energy lighting into this bungalow that I'm trying to build and see how it goes, try and make it as much energy efficient as I can.
What Interface is doing is very good, but it's very much from a work setting, industrial point of view, and it's just one of the, it's not a criticism, but it's one of the areas where I think definitely it should be branched next is into making people work. People want to do it.
I don't really think people do it here for recognition. By and large, they do it, you know, because it's the right thing to do. So, you know, but nice to give a bit of recognition, I suppose.
Well, if you're on the machines and you're doing the job well, it's good quality garbage coming out, so that way you'll know yourself that you're doing all right.
People don't think that it affects them on a day-to-day basis, no matter whether you're in work or not. You know, you say you could throw a tin away and not recycle it and think, well, I'm not hurting anybody, it's only one tin, but you know, if 100 people do that, it makes the difference.
Before I would have been more inclined to throw the whole lot into one bin, because of the company's attitude started to make me think.
Recycle all the time at home. I've all my different bins, you know, for my papers.
I feel that if you do practice these things at home, it's a natural thing to come into work and to go to the correct bin or to follow the right procedure.
Because I know certainly within the workforce there are a lot of employees who do things outside of work which really help the community that they're from. So recognition for both streams of work, both in the workplace and outside of the workplace, would be good.
As I say, it could be Employee of the Month or just some little bit of gratitude or something, even a £20, £30 gift card or whatever. You know, it doesn't have to be a massive amount of money or whatever, it's just something to recognise what they're doing.
Once a year at Christmas, shifts will go out, like maybe 3/4 of the shift will go out together and the other quarter will do their own thing. Engineers, I'll go out with the engineers and stuff, and staff and all go out, but there's never a day where Team A, B and C, engineers, staff all get together and come together.
It's hard to catch day shift, back shift, night shift, weekend shift is another shift, so it's nearly impossible to try and organise something that suits everyone.
It's all work now. There's very little time for anything else. The social club was, we used to pay so much a week, and organised get-togethers. We used to have Christmas parties. We used to go away for the day in summer, quizzes. We used to have a football tournament because we used to have a football pitch out the back. Just gatherings. I think it's just a golf society now.
The fact that you can play golf with people that work here in different departments, I mean, you know, just to meet them, it's something extra on top of actually working in the plant, which I think is very, very important. The benefits from, you know, a society of any sort, if anybody plays any type of sport or does anything as a group, is very, very beneficial. 2006 I decided year on year I would do an annual event and raise money for charity. It involved people within the plant, because a lot of people were now giving money each year from within the plant towards charity, which is excellent. Last year we raised over £3,500, so the challenge would be to probably beat that as well.
Mission Zero now, I would say now it's part of your life, whether at work or whether at home.
You know, we're only on this planet once and you have to make the most of it for our next generations. If we don't make a stand now, you know, what is there going to be for them?
I don't think it'll matter if it's made in 2020 or if it's made in 2022. I think if we make it, it's going to be an unbelievable achievement. The likes of Interface having green energy, it's a great start, and then recycling's a great start. It's just the last boundaries. It's what do we do next? It's what is next? What can we do? So look forward to finding out.